Hey, 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 everybody. Happy Make Your Move Monday. This is Latrice McFadden coming to you live all the way from Durham, North Carolina on this beautiful Monday after this slightly chilly weekend that we had. I think we're supposed to get back up to the 80s this week, so I am looking forward to that. Because if y'all know me, y'all know I'm from Mississippi, even though I left when I was 4, but I do prefer the warmer weather. So, as long as I got some good AC. So today I want to talk about a question that people are asking regularly, no matter what is going on. But is it a good time to buy? And I know I have answered this question as far as buying and selling, but we're going to talk about it again because I continue to get the question. So my answer is always it is a good time to buy if you are ready. And a lot of people, it's the biggest decision, the biggest purchase that most of us will make in our lifetimes. Buying a home, selling a home, these things like that. Those are typically the most expensive purchases that the average person will make in their lifetime. So you want to make sure that you are getting your questions answered. If you're feeling unsure, it is definitely not uncommon. You are not alone. A lot of people are feeling unsure, especially in light of everything that is going on in our world, in our economy. So it's natural. So and it's a good question to ask because any decisions that you make, you need to make for yourself and see, technology is trying to not let me be great, but I think that you could hear me before. But it did a little switcheroo. So anyway, back to the topic of at hand. So just things that you can think about. We're going to hear all of the things that are going on in the world, but you have to look at your individual situation. Can you comfortably afford the monthly payment? And that's something to definitely take into consideration. And a lot of lenders will do, if your mortgage is something and you're going up above a certain level, they want you to make sure that you can afford it. And they may not even approve you to jump up a significant amount in your what you can afford in your mortgage. I know that I think it's NACA, one of the things they do is something called shock payment. So if you are going to be increasing your mortgage significantly, then they want you to put that money in the bank and a savings account for a few months. To make sure that you can feel comfortable. I've done that when I would plan to make a purchase that was going to change what my monthly outpour would be. I started making that extra payment, putting it aside so that I could see, okay, really, will this work for me? So, can you afford that payment, the increase in payment, the new mortgage that you want? Second, are you planning to stay put for a few years? I've been talking to one of my children about possibly buying a home, and are you planning to stay? Are you going to be there for a few years or at least a year? What is the goal? What is your end goal? And then third, are you tired of renting and are you ready to start building something for yourself? So these are all things to think about because you will not be able to time the market. It's just not realistic. So you really, really have to do a deep dive in your situation. Is your job fairly stable? We all know that things can change, in the blink of an eye. But do you feel like you're going to be in your position for a while? If you think that there's a possibility that you won't, do you have savings set aside? Do you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months so that you could make your mortgage payment? Are you open to a roommate? I remember when I bought my first house, I was like, well, push comes to shove, I will get a roommate. And because I decided to buy a car immediately after I bought a house, I did end up getting a roommate for a little while after that situation. But you have to keep your different options open. I mean, if it's just you, then getting a roommate, hey, why not have somebody else help you pay your mortgage? That's an option. If if you're married and you have children or don't have children or whatever, there's still options. People nowadays will rent out rooms in their houses. and different things. So you can still make your home an income producing asset, or you just have that in the back of your mind if things get tight, that you need to be able to increase your income, because a lot of people need housing, not just students, young professionals that are getting started. Maybe you're not ready to take on a mortgage, or maybe you can't afford a $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month apartment rent for a one bedroom. So there's definitely options and things that you can do to make sense for you. So timing the market, though, is not one of those things that I say is a good thing to do, because if you're going to wait for interest rates to come down, and we don't know if or when interest rates will ever come back down to where they were in the twos and threes, but when they do come back, then the competition is going to be coming up. So right now it is pretty much just a buyer's market. So you can be a little, sellers are being a little bit more negotiable. Now there are some categories and price points and things like that it may not be that may not be as much of the case, but it's a good time if you're a buyer and you've positioned yourself to be ready to make that. And that includes making sure your credit is ready, making sure that you have some savings. I was talking with a potential client that was referred to me earlier this month, and saying you got to have some more savings. You probably have heard me say, I used to tell people when I started back in the late 90s and the 1900s, I was like, if you got $1,000, I can get you in the house. And I honestly cannot say that today, but if you got a few thousand, and right now, save, save, save. But if you have some money in the bank, we can work with it. Builders are offering great incentives. They're being a little bit more flexible with their deposits and things like that. So it's possible. So what I would say is reach out to me. I will walk you through the process step by step so that you don't have to guess. I will put you in touch with my lender partners, the one or two that I think would be a good match for you, to look at your credit. So sometimes people don't want to have their credit pulled, and a lot of times nowadays lenders are able to do soft pulls just to get you a ballpark idea of where you are. If there's something that you need to work on before you can get that final pre-approval, you will have to have that hard pull done to your credit. But get the information, find out where you are, find out what you may be ready, or you may be this close to being ready, and it's just one small thing that you need to either pay off or save a little bit more. Where are you? Do you need to refinance your car to get your interest rate down? Is there something you can do with credit card payments to get those down? So those are conversations that we can have, and topics that we can talk about in our conversations, to find out where you are, find out what your goals are, what's your time frame. Is your lease up in the next 6 months? If your lease is up in the next month or so, we're probably gonna you may have to renew for a year. Maybe you can do a 6 month lease. Maybe you can move in with a friend. But those are things that we will talk about in our one-on-one buyer consultation, to get your questions answered and figure out if it's ready, if you're ready for it right now. And if you're not, what are the steps? And then we can stay in touch. Um, be an accountability partner to make sure that you are doing the steps that need to be done so that you can be ready if your lease is up in 6 months, if your lease is up in 9 months or a year, or whenever you're ready, or if you're living with family and you want to, start looking at that process. So have the conversation. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to talk about it, because not knowing does not make things go away. It does not make things go away. So you just don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So you can't do anything with what you don't know. So ask the questions. You're not locking yourself into any definite situations or whatever. You're just getting the information that you need so that you can make an informed decision. And that is always very, very key to me. Sometimes I feel like when I'm having conversations that it could come off as sort of negative, but I just really want everybody to make an informed decision so that you know what you need to do, what these options are, and that's the goal, because the goal is to build wealth through home ownership, starting with your primary residence, and then moving on to possibly doing some investment property. So, and maybe your first home is actually your first investment property. So, there are different things to think about, different things to discuss, but we can have that one on one conversation. And your conversation will go no further than me as far as what you're doing and what you need to work on and where you are. So, reach out to me. You can call me or text me at 919-730-0803. You can go to my website, makeyourmove.biz, and schedule an appointment to just have a consultation about what your needs and goals are. You can email me at latrice@latrice.biz. So I am really easy to connect with and really easy to get with. So with that being said, I do want to say that there is an excellent opportunity, if you don't want to have a one on one with me just yet, to come out to our Realtus Week Community Day. And that will be Saturday, April 18th. We're partnering with the River Church in Durham. We'll get started at 9 o'clock having breakfast, and our opening session will start at 10 a.m. And we'll have multiple sessions throughout the days. We'll have what to do with Big Mama's house. So some estate planning and trust planning. Because in our community, a lot of times we don't like to talk about that situation. And even though we all know we came to this earth and we're going to have to leave this earth, and we don't know the day or the time, but we should always have something in place and plan. So, and then if we are in the situation where we've been one to inherit some property, or whether or not it's through an estate or not, or it's through a will, or you just happen to be the next of kin, we need to know what to do with that property. Ideally, we'll know that we've gotten it, made our wishes and desires known, and we can go from there. But even if we haven't, what do we do in the case where we receive some property, inherit some property? So that'll be one of our topics. We'll have home buying 101, home selling 101, investing 101, down payment assistance, show me the money. So we'll have careers in real estate, because obviously I'm a real estate professional, but there's different careers in real estate that you might want to do. Not all of them require that you go to college. There is, going to be some education and some responsibility and things that you have to do, but just come out, join us at the River Church on Saturday, April 18th from 9 to 3 o'clock. I'm going to feed you breakfast and lunch. As well as some great information. So you can go to triborpresents.com and register for that event. And then that whole Realtus week, we will have great events we'll start out with the River Church on Sunday. We'll be attending church service there. And then Monday, for my fellow realtors and real estate professionals and realtists, we will have our Realtus Safety Day, and that will be at the Briar Creek Community Center, and from 9 to 12:30, I believe. So don't quote me on these times. This is all from memory, but all of these are available for you to register at triborpresents.com. And they are all free, and most of them we're going to feed you. So Monday, we're going to do Realtus Safety Day in the morning at Briar Creek Community Center. Tuesday, we will be at the Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors. We will have a session we'll have some, it's our political advocacy day. So we'll have some local political figures that will be coming to talk to us about things that are going on in our community. Lunch is included. Wednesday, we will be doing our day of service, and it will be, oh my gosh, with love from Jesus. I've been saying, what will Jesus do? I got it right today. With love from Jesus. So if you want to come out and serve and volunteer with us, you can register for that. I believe it's 9 to 12 or 12:30. And then we were going to be going to lunch after that. So spots are limited for that one. So go ahead and register. Thursday will be our only day that's virtual. We'll have a Zoom on fair housing, and that'll be in the evening at 6 o'clock. So you can register for that via Zoom. Friday night, we're going to be at Tribeca Tavern. We're going to feed you dinner, a good meal, and we're going to have some special guest panelists, investor event. So be dealing with women who invest in real estate, but that does not mean that our brothers and men are not welcome. You are welcome to come, and we invite you to come because the information applies across the board, but there will be information on getting into investing. And if you attended last year's event, it only gets better. We get gooder and gooder every year. And then back to our culminating event, the Community Day on Saturday at the River Church in Durham. So jam-packed week full of events. Like I said, lots of free food and lots of phenomenal information, education that is free. We are giving this to you as the community, as our fellow real estate professionals for free. So go out and register at triborpresents.com. For my real estate professionals, we are having the Triangle Wealthy Group is actually having our think tank this Thursday at the Self Help Credit Union in Raleigh on Harps Mill Road. And that will be from 9 to noon. So you can go to TWG Presents, and I'm putting that in the chat as well, twgpresents.com to register for that. We want you to come and bring your successes, your challenges, and so we can all build and grow our pipeline for 2026, because despite whatever is going on in the market, if you are implementing the strategies and the tools, you can be very, very successful in real estate at any time in any market. You just have to be flexible and do the work. So that is Thursday, April 2nd. And I think that's all the events I want to share. But again, please come out and join us for Realtus Week, especially our Community Day on Saturday, April 18th at the River Church. It is going to be a phenomenal event, and you will get some information. Bring a friend. I forgot to say that we will also have a youth event, a youth session, as well as a young adult session. So come and let's get our youth and our young adults started early on financial literacy and that they can do things, because sometimes when people don't see something, they think they can't do it, or even if they've seen it, they might think, that's not for me, I can't do it. But you can. And when you talk to people and their stories mirror your stories or your similarities, they grew up however you grew up, and you're like, oh wow, they did grow up like me and they did this, so they can do it, I can do it. So come and join us. Y'all know I'm always about the education and getting the information and then encouraging people to implement. And I'm super excited about our partnership with the River Church. I'm super excited about, we have I've gone back to NARAB and Realtus Week, but we have received a grant from the National Association of Realtors. We have sponsors, and I don't want to start naming names because I don't have them all listed in front of me. But if you go and follow us, at Tribor on Facebook and Instagram at Tribor NARAB, I believe is our channel, you can see who our sponsors are, and you can go to triborpresents.com to register for these events. And I'm really excited that we have all of this coming up during Fair Housing Month. So April is Fair Housing Month. It's hard to believe that we are starting the first quarter of the month the first day of the second quarter of the year in just 2 days. Where has the year gone? So whatever you've done, if you've done phenomenal in the first quarter, yay, let's keep it going. If you're like, I didn't start out exactly right and I need to get things better, yes, come join us and let's do better in quarter 2 of 2026. So we won't get to the end of the year and like, dang, what happened? Because y'all see time is moving fast, it's waiting for no one. So that's all I have for today. Happy Make Your Move Monday. Be sure to always make your move because every step counts. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday for another edition of Make Your Move Monday, and definitely seeing you all during Realtus Week and seeing my fellow realtors and real estate professionals at our think tank this Thursday. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful warm weather that we have coming up.